In boxing, most fighters spend their careers trying not to get hit. Arturo Gatti built a career on taking punishment. The more he bled, the louder the crowd became, because the fans loved Arturo Gatti, and Arturo Gatti loved them back. Every time he stepped into the ring, he gave them everything he had, even when it cost him pieces of himself. He wasn't the cleanest boxer. He wasn't the most technical. Everyone knew one thing. This wasn't going to be a boxing match. It was going to be a war. Before Arturo Gatti became a legend, he became a survivor. In 1997, Arturo Gatti stepped into the ring against Gabriel Ruelas, a dangerous former world champion who many believed was simply too skilled and too experienced. From the opening bell, it was clear this fight would not be technical. It was violent. Ruelas landed clean combinations early, snapping Gatti's head back again and again. By the middle rounds, Gatti's face was already swelling, and the fight was starting to slip away from him. Most fighters would have backed off. Gatti moved forward. Every exchange turned into a firefight. Neither man was willing to give ground, but Ruelas looked sharper and more controlled. For long stretches, it seemed like Gatti was losing the battle punch by punch. But losing never stopped him before. Round after round, Gatti kept walking through punishment like a man who didn't understand the idea of retreat. That night, Arturo Gatti proved something that would define his entire career. He didn't need to dominate a fight. He only needed to survive it. And this was the night boxing realized something dangerous. The more Arturo Gatti bled, the harder he fought. Fight 2. Arturo Gatti vs. Mickey Ward 1, May 18, 2002, Mohegan Sun Arena. By the spring of 2002, Arturo Gatti had already built a reputation as boxing's most fearless warrior. But on May 18th, inside the Mohegan Sun Arena, he would become something more. Mickey Ward was the perfect opponent, relentless, durable, and dangerous at close range. From the opening bell, the fight settled into a brutal rhythm. There was almost no movement around the ring, no long-range strategy, just two fighters standing in front of each other, trading punches. Ward targeted the body early, driving left hooks into Gatti's ribs with frightening consistency. Each shot slowed him down, but it never pushed him backward, because backing away was never part of Arturo Gatti's style. Round after round, both men absorbed punishment that would have stopped most fighters. Clean punches landed without hesitation, and neither man tried to escape the exchanges. Then came the 9th round. Ward pinned Gatti against the ropes and unloaded crushing body shots. The impact echoed through the arena. Gatti's legs weakened as he folded forward, barely holding himself upright. It looked like the fight was over, but somehow he stayed standing. And before the round ended, Gatti did the impossible. He fired back, trading punches again as if the damage meant nothing. Ward won the decision that night, but the crowd left talking about only one thing. Arturo Gatti had proven that losing a fight didn't mean losing the war. Fight 3. Arturo Gatti vs. Mickey Ward 2, November 23, 2002, Boardwalk Hall. 6 months after their first war, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward met again, this time in Atlantic City. The first fight had taken a piece of both men, but Arturo Gatti came into the rematch determined to prove he was more than just a brawler. From the opening rounds, the difference was clear. Gatti stayed composed, working behind a steady jab and moving just enough to slow Ward's forward pressure. The exchanges were still heavy, but now there was discipline behind the aggression. Ward kept pushing forward, searching for the same body shots that nearly ended the first fight. But Gatti had adapted. He controlled more of the exchanges, landing cleaner combinations and forcing Ward to work harder for every opening. The fight was still physical. It always was with Arturo Gatti. But this time, he wasn't simply surviving the battle. He was guiding it. After 10 hard rounds, the judges awarded Gatti the decision. The rivalry was now even. And for the first time, it seemed like Arturo Gatti might be evolving. Not just a warrior, but a complete fighter. Fight 4. Arturo Gatti vs. Mickey Ward, June 7, 2003, Boardwalk Hall. The third fight was never about rankings or titles. It was about finishing what they had started. By June 2003, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward had already gone through 20 rounds of punishment together. The third fight carried a different atmosphere. Everyone understood what this meant. The final chapter of one of boxing's greatest rivalries. The pace was slower now, but the intensity remained. Ward pushed forward like always, looking for exchanges at close range. Gatti answered with sharper combinations, controlling more of the action as the fight progressed. Both men showed the signs of two long careers built on punishment. Reactions came a little slower. Movements required more effort, but neither man stepped away from the fight. Round after round, they kept trading punches in the center of the ring, driven by something deeper than competition. By the final rounds, exhaustion had taken over. When the last bell rang, Arturo Gatti had won the decision and the trilogy. But the result almost didn't matter, because what people remembered most came after the fight. Two fighters, arms around each other in the center of the ring. Not rivals anymore, just survivors. Arturo Gatti versus Floyd Mayweather.
Gatti don't want to fight, but if he don't want to fight, he can go and give me that belt, because he know that's what he got to do.
June 25th, 2005, Boardwalk Hall. As Arturo Gatti's fame grew, so did the scale of the fights. And in 2005, he faced a different kind of opponent. Floyd Mayweather was not a warrior in the traditional sense. He was something far more difficult to fight, a technician operating at the highest level. Inside Boardwalk Hall, the contrast between the two fighters became clear almost immediately. Gatti moved forward, trying to turn the fight into the kind of battle that had defined his career. Mayweather refused. He controlled the distance with ease, landing precise combinations while avoiding almost everything thrown back at him. The crowd waited for the moment when Gatti would drag the fight into chaos. That moment never came. Round after round, Mayweather stayed in control, breaking Gatti down with clean, accurate punches. Even then, Gatti kept coming forward, because that was the only way he knew how to fight. After 6 rounds, the damage had become too severe. The fight was stopped. For the first time on a major stage, Arturo Gatti looked outmatched. But even in defeat, the crowd stayed with him. Because by then, everyone understood something simple. Arturo Gatti wasn't loved because he was unbeatable. He was loved because he never stopped fighting.
Like I told Arturo Gatti back then, and I'll say it again as well, he's nothing but a heavy bag with a screw swivel in his head. You hang him up in the gym, beat him to death.